Brian with ScreenFiles.com and review. And this is a hard review for me because I actually started watching Watchmen late in 2019. I think I watched the episode with Comanche in the title. In any case, what bothered me was that Watchmen is such a seminal graphic novel, probably among one of the best comics ever written, literally. And for me to badmouth its follow-up really kind of didn't sit well with me. I didn't want to do it. So I kind of lost interest, to be totally honest, and recently reacquired said interest. It's a really good show. It's well acted, it's extremely well written, it's extremely well directed, it's almost perfect. But there's a problem. It's taken me a while to understand what that problem is, so let me go through my thought process a little bit. It was intermittently interesting, but not enough to necessarily hold me. And that's unusual, especially for a franchise as storied as this one. So I needed to understand why I was not getting into this, because I was a huge fan of the original Watchmen comic. And something as well produced as this, that I wasn't able to quite glom onto it, irritated me a little bit. Though I think the problem I've been having is that Watchmen tries something on the face of it. Watchmen, the series, tries something new and tries something innovative. And you'll notice I prefaced that with on the face of it, because when you look at it really close, Watchmen is not that innovative. And that's a pity. By which I mean, it's tonally speaking very similar to the graphic novel, the original comics. And that's a pity, because it takes such a different tact in many other ways to have it essentially be a copy of the graphic novel is a little disconcerting. And I know what you're saying, but they're entirely different. They are not. Again, I'm saying tonally speaking, not literally speaking, in terms of its feel, in terms of the emotions it's trying to get across. It's very much the same. And that is the pity, because Watchmen for its time was remarkably innovative and daring. This series is not. Not really. And sure, it's light years better than Zack Snyder's 2009 movie. No doubt, because Zack Snyder's movie was essentially parodying Watchmen. It did nothing new. It didn't even attempt anything new. So that is not even in the same ballpark as this miniseries, frankly. This miniseries, compared to that, is Citizen Kane, to be totally honest. But it's still not unique enough. And that's why I think if Alan Moore were to watch HBO's Watchmen, he would be interested. But when all's said and done, I don't think it would work for him, for the reasons that I already stated. It's trying to be Watchmen while at the same time not Watchmen. And it's quite the balancing act to maintain. And I give Damon Lindelof credit. This is an amazing attempt. And I would argue it's probably the best continuation of the Watchmen saga we are likely ever to get. But at the same time, it doesn't approach it in a very bold way. And I'm not by any means criticizing the approach of using the experience of African Americans at a certain period of our time as a starting point. That's actually really clever, but it's still very similar. It's very, as I said earlier, it's very dour, and it's the same thing, only slightly different. And I fully admit I'm nitpicking here. Watchmen is great television. I just wished it were more innovative television. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I was thinking of making this video a lot longer than it actually is, because I think you could probably write a huge paper on Watchmen, the series. But when all is said and done, it's a noble effort, but it falls short. But then again, I honestly don't think it could really succeed, especially when it tries too hard to stick to the original Watchmen. The only way I think you can have a genuinely successful follow-up to Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' Watchmen is to do it in such a way that, at least at the first glance, it appears entirely unique. It appears to be its own animal. And only with looking deeper do you see that this is familiar. And that takes a kind of filmmaking I'm not even sure exists right now, frankly. Because at this moment, Watchmen, as I said, is interesting, it's engrossing, it's fascinating, it's also a bit dour, and it's a bit not innovative enough. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer Interaction. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know what you think down below. Peace.